The loudest man in the room is often the weakest truth. True strength is silent. It does not need to prove itself. Stillness is not doing nothing. It is doing everything without noise. While others react, the master observes. Power is not in motion, it is in control. This is the first truth on the path to inner mastery, yet it is the hardest for most to understand because we have been trained since childhood to believe that every emotion we feel is who we are. We say, I am angry, I am sad, I am frustrated, but these are not who we are, they are simply states passing through us. Imagine a clear blue sky and clouds drifting across it. Your emotions are those clouds, but you are the sky itself, unchanging, unmoved. You are not the chaos you experience, you are the space in which the chaos happens. When someone disrespects you, or challenges you, or tries to provoke you, the common reaction is to feel the emotion rise like fire in the chest. The heart beats faster, the breath shortens, the fists clench, and before you know it, you are caught in the moment. But in that moment, you forget the one thing that would give you power. You forget that you have a choice. The observer within you is always present. It is the part of you that can see yourself becoming angry. It is the part of you that hears the voice in your head scream, but does not scream with it. It watches the storm, but does not become the storm. This observer is the real you. At the Shaolin temple, the monks do not train to fight others, they train to master themselves. Every strike, every breath, every stillness is a way to discipline the mind, to observe rather than react, to witness the rising of anger and let it go like a leaf floating down a stream. They know that to master life they must master the self, and to master the self they must not identify with the passing emotions, but with the awareness that sees all. When someone tries to insult you or hurt your pride, you must realize that their words are only energy. What gives that energy power is your attachment to it. You believe that their opinion matters. You believe that your identity must defend itself. But the observer does not defend anything. The observer understands that silence is not defeat, it is clarity. Ask yourself, who suffers when you become angry? Who is hurt when you lose control? It is not the person who triggered you, it is you. You carry that fire within you. You burn from the inside out, and in the end you lose your peace, your clarity, your center. When you are the observer, you are no longer dragged around by external forces. You do not dance to the rhythm of someone else's chaos. You choose your own tempo, your own path, and that path is walked with calm, not rage, with understanding, not reactivity. Let go of the need to react in every situation. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the idea that your emotions define your truth. They are visitors, not residents. Treat them with respect, but do not give them the keys to your home. It takes great strength to sit with your anger and not act on it. It takes discipline to feel disrespected and still choose silence over argument. It takes true power to feel the storm rise and remain unmoved like the mountain. This is not suppression, this is not weakness, it is mastery. It is knowing that you are the awareness behind the emotion, not the emotion itself. You are the sky, not the cloud. And the more you train your mind to observe rather than react, the more you will find that nothing truly bothers you anymore. Because nothing can enter your inner world unless you open the door. And when you live from that awareness, you move differently. You speak with less urgency and more purpose. You listen without needing to respond. You carry peace, not as a concept, but as a state of being. This is why the observer is not affected by chaos, because he does not resist it. He watches, he learns, and he lets go. Your power lies not in what you feel, but in what you choose to do with what you feel. Every time you observe and do not react, you grow stronger, you become more grounded, and no one can shake a man who stands rooted in awareness. So when anger knocks, when insult comes, when emotion rises, remember this: you are not the storm, you are the silent sky, behind it all, watching, breathing still. Breathe, watch, and remain free. The outside world is not the problem, your attachment is. Many people spend their entire lives trying to control what happens around them. They try to change people, fix circumstances, avoid discomfort, chase security, but no matter how much they rearrange the world, the inner conflict remains, and they wonder why they still feel disturbed, why they still get hurt, why they still get angry. The truth is simple, yet difficult to accept. Nothing outside of you can disturb you unless you are already attached to something within that can be touched. You are not angry because of what they said, you are angry because their words touched a belief you hold. You are not hurt because of what they did, you are hurt because you expected something from them that they didn't deliver. Attachment is invisible, yet it controls you without your awareness. Attachment is the invisible thread that connects your peace to something or someone outside yourself. And when that thing moves, your peace moves with it. At the Shaolin temple, the monks practice detachment not because they do not care, but because they understand that freedom cannot exist where attachment does. When you are attached to approval, you become a slave to praise. When you are attached to comfort, you become afraid of discomfort. When you are attached to people, you lose yourself. Every time they change, people will come and go. They will agree with you and then disagree. They will love you and then leave you. The weather will shift. The seasons will turn. The world will not stop for your expectations. And if your peace depends on the world meeting your expectations, then you will always be at war with reality. When something bothers you, ask yourself, what am I attached to? What belief is being challenged? What identity is being threatened? Most of the time, you will find that your suffering is not caused by the situation itself, but by the story you are telling yourself about what it means. If someone ignores you and you feel disrespected, it is not the act of being ignored that hurts you. It is your belief that you must always be seen. It is the attachment to being acknowledged that causes the pain, not the silence. If someone succeeds and you feel envy, it is not their success that creates your discomfort. It is your attachment to comparison, your belief that their rise somehow reflects your failure. This is why the Shaolin path is not about controlling the outside, it is about mastering the inside. The moment you release attachment, you become untouchable, not because nothing happens, but because nothing shakes your foundation anymore. Detachment is not a rejection of life, it is a deeper embrace of it. When you stop clinging to how things should be, you begin to see them as they truly are. You become present, not reactive, grounded, not shaken. You stop fighting with what is and start flowing with it. If someone disrespects you and you are not attached to being respected, you will feel no inner resistance. If someone disagrees with you and you are not attached to being right, you will feel no need to argue. If someone leaves and you are not attached to them staying, you will remain whole because your sense of self was never built on their presence. Let go of the need to be understood, the need to be right, the need to be in control, the need to have everything go your way. These needs are chains that keep you bound to suffering. It is not the rain that ruins the day. It is your expectation of sunshine. It is not the traffic that frustrates you. It is your attachment to speed. It is not the silence of someone else that hurts you. It is your craving for attention. Life becomes simple the moment you stop demanding it to be different. You begin to move lightly, without resistance. You accept what comes, you release what goes. You stop trying to bend the world to your will, and instead, you bend your mind to meet the moment. When your peace is rooted in something eternal, not external, you walk with grace. You are no longer moved by opinions, noise, chaos, or failure. You observe everything, and you respond only when necessary, not from fear, not from pride, not from anger, but from clarity. And this clarity comes when the noise of attachment fades, when you realize that peace was never in the outside world. It was within you all along, waiting to be uncovered, not through more control, but through letting go. The journey is not to gain more, it is to need less. To stop seeking security in things that can be taken, to stop seeking validation in people who change, to stop building your identity on what you possess. When you let go, you do not lose anything. You gain everything. You gain freedom, strength, presence, and unshakable peace. So let go of the illusion that the world must behave for you to be happy. It is not the world that disturbs you. It is your clinging to how it should be. When you remove the attachment, nothing can bother you anymore because there is nothing left for the world to pull on. That is real power. That is real peace. That is real freedom. Keep walking the path with empty hands and a full heart. Energy flows where attention goes. Train your focus. Most people spend their lives exhausted, not because they are working hard, but because they are bleeding energy through distractions, reactions, and emotional noise. They allow their attention to be pulled in every direction without ever stopping to ask where it is going or why it matters. You cannot control your life if you do not control your focus, because your energy is not infinite. Every moment you spend thinking about things that do not serve you, every moment you react to things that do not deserve your energy, you are weakening your own foundation. The world is loud and it wants your attention. Everything fights for it. Your phone, your fears, your ego, other people's drama. But the warrior walks a different path. He understands that attention is not cheap. It is sacred. If you constantly focus on what makes you angry, you will become an angry person. If you always look for what is wrong, you will live in a world that reflects that. If your attention is stuck on the past, you cannot move forward. And if you give your attention to the opinions of others, you will never hear your own inner voice. This is why training the mind is not optional. It is essential. Your focus is a blade, and without sharpening it every day, it becomes dull and scattered. At the Shaolin temple, every movement, every breath, every silence is part of that sharpening. The monks do not only practice martial arts to build a body, they practice to discipline the mind. Because a body without a trained mind is wild and dangerous, but a mind without a trained body is weak and unstable. Focus is trained in silence, in repetition, in discomfort, and in patience when you sit with your breath and feel your thoughts pull you away and you return again and again. You are building inner strength when you keep your attention on what matters, even when everything around you screams for distraction. You are becoming unshakable. Most people are not tired because they are doing too much. They are tired because they are scattered. Their attention is split between 1,000 meaningless things, and none of them bring peace. When your energy is diluted, your power disappears. But when your energy is focused, your presence becomes powerful. To never be bothered by others, you must stop giving them your attention, not because you are cold, but because your peace is too valuable. When someone disrespects you, they want your reaction, they want your energy, and if you give it, you are feeding the fire. But if you keep your focus within, if you do not react, you stay in control. You do not lose energy, you gain it. Discipline is focus in motion. It is choosing to stay present when the mind wants to run. It is choosing to stay calm when the world tries to provoke you. It is choosing the harder path, not because it feels good, but because it builds strength. Ask yourself where your focus goes each day. Does it go to building your inner world, or is it lost in pleasing others? Does it go to mastering your craft, or is it wasted comparing yourself to others? Is it used to create, or is it used to complain? You cannot rise if your focus is on the ground. You cannot grow if your attention is always on what you lack. You cannot master yourself if you are constantly watching others. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, life grows. And if your attention is rooted in silence, presence, and purpose, then your life will begin to reflect that same power. Most things do not deserve your attention. Most problems are not real. They are just shadows made larger by focus. Take your focus away and the problem shrinks. Take your energy back and the storm dies. You must become the guardian of your attention. Choose wisely where it goes and who gets it. Your focus is your life. If you give it away too easily, you lose yourself. But if you direct it with purpose, you become unstoppable. Your peace, your strength, your growth, they all begin with focus. The more you train it, the less the world can disturb you, because you no longer give your power away for free. Keep your eyes on the path, keep your energy within, and let every step be a reflection of your discipline and awareness. Stillness is not weakness, it is mastery in silence. In a world that constantly tells you to do more, speak louder, move faster, the greatest strength you can show is to remain still when others rush to react, to stay silent when others raise their voice, and to stand firm when everything around you begins to shake. Stillness is not the absence of power. It is the purest form of it. It is the expression of a mind that is not controlled by the moment, but that sees beyond the noise. It is the discipline of someone who has trained himself not to move unless movement is necessary, not to speak unless words are needed, not to fight unless the fight is worth it. People think that if you do not react, you are weak, but in truth, if you react to everything, you are not in control. You are a puppet moved by the strings of emotion, pride, fear, and ego. The one who reacts instantly is not free. He is trapped in habit. He is ruled by what he feels, not what he knows. But the one who is still is free. He sees the emotion rise and he watches. He hears the insult, but he does not flinch. He feels the storm, but he is not moved, because he understands that stillness is not passive. It is active. It is alive. It is awareness in its most focused form. At the Shaolin temple, stillness is practiced as much as motion. Monks stand for hours in silent postures, not to punish the body but to discipline the mind. Every moment of stillness teaches them that they are not here to chase every thought, to follow every feeling, to answer every provocation. They are here to remain grounded, unshaken, fully present. True stillness comes when you have nothing to prove, when you no longer seek to be seen or heard, when you no longer need validation or victory. It comes when your identity is no longer tied to how people treat you or what they think of you. It comes when you realize that silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. In stillness there is clarity. You see what others miss because they are busy reacting. You hear what others ignore because they are speaking too loudly. You find solutions not because you fight harder, but because you wait longer. And in that waiting, the truth reveals itself. Do not mistake noise for power. Do not confuse aggression with strength. The one who must always speak, defend, argue, fight is often the weakest because his mind cannot handle silence. His heart cannot sit with discomfort. His ego cannot remain unseen. But the one who is truly strong does not need to respond to everything. He does not need to win every battle, because he knows most battles are distractions. They are invitations to leave your peace, to waste your energy, and if you accept them, you trade your stillness for temporary pride. When someone challenges you and you remain still, you win. Not because you beat them, but because you beat yourself. The reactive self, the proud self, the insecure self. You prove that you are no longer controlled by the lower mind, but guided by the higher one. Stillness does not mean inaction, it means right action. It means responding, not reacting. It means acting from awareness, not emotion. It means waiting for the right moment, and when that moment comes, moving with precision, power, and purpose. To be still is to be watchful. To be still is to be calm while others panic. To be still is to listen before speaking, to think before moving, and to be unmoved when others try to shake you. Stillness is the root of discipline. It is the mirror of your mind. If your mind is chaotic, you cannot sit still. If your heart is restless, you cannot be silent. If your spirit is unsettled, you cannot stay calm. But if you train every day to sit in silence, to breathe through discomfort, to hold your ground without being pulled, you begin to build a strength that no one can see, but everyone feels. You begin to radiate presence, calm, focus, and when others look at you, they do not see weakness, they see depth, they see power under control. Stillness is the art of holding your sword without needing to swing it, of standing your ground without needing to prove it, of being at peace while the world burns and yet being ready to move the moment purpose calls. When you are still, you begin to see that most things do not deserve your reaction. Most arguments are empty. Most chaos is noise. Most people are just mirrors reflecting their own pain, and if you absorb all of it, you lose your center. But if you remain still, you reflect nothing, you absorb nothing, you allow everything to pass through you, like wind through a forest, and nothing can move you unless you allow it. This is the way of the master. This is the discipline of the one who walks with silence, not as escape, but as a weapon. The still mind is the strongest mind. The still man is the most dangerous man, because he cannot be manipulated by emotion or broken by noise. Train your mind to be still and you will see clearly. Train your heart to be calm and you will feel deeply. Train your body to be unmoved and you will walk through chaos untouched. Stillness is not the end. It is the foundation from which true action arises. It is the place where power waits in silence for the right moment to move with intention and clarity. And that is the path to mastery.